Hello there everyone and welcome back. I think it's time to start bringing out my big guns finally. For while I did enjoy leveling up a brand new Imperial Navy fleet with the October Black Friday sale, I feel like its purpose is no longer valid because I think the majority of players have now left, so I'm stuck having to fight a massive uphill battle against probably level 10s more than likely. And while that may not be too terrible, especially when I can win, it's probably not going to be the most convenient for like the YouTube series there, because sure, I may have ran away prematurely against Eldar, but again, I had level 1s, I had level 2s that desperately I want to get some levels in to actually enhance their powers, and winning a single battle at the cost of no experience and leveling up and having really no fleet for the battle thereafter, it doesn't seem valid, it doesn't seem worth it. It's just going to mean more frustration for me in the long term because it's going to be a constant uphill battle. So I'm deciding to bring out the best that I have to offer, and this is my fleet here. It's not entirely level 10, but in one or two matches with a handful of them, they're basically going to get their level 10s in. My overlords are almost there. I have what, 2 dauntlesses? Okay. Yeah, 2 dauntlesses that are fresh level 9s, one of which is just one battle away to its level 10, so this is as maxed out as it possibly can get for me there. It might take a little bit of time to get acclimate again with my level 10 fleet, but I have a good idea what to do here, and I have the upgrades and that to justify it. And best of all, unlike the championship series where I've been hindered in my point defense, dealing with the dang bombers and all that, I have Imperial Navies and Cobras to help easily negate that, especially when you consider excuse me there, that I have extra turrets on these things too. So these are my spotters, these are my bomber deterrents, these are for my these are for shooting down torpedoes, these are for shooting down bombers, these are for spotting, these are for being a real pain in the ass. And I got enough ships to do it multiple times through a match, although I did hear there is a bit of a glitch or a bug where this could cause crashing if I'm spamming like a bunch of Cobras, so I am going to have to be very careful if that is true with deploying these Cobras, so I'm going to be very wary about deploying these all at once until I get a better feel for them. But otherwise, the upgrades are almost exactly the same as what you saw before. I have 2 Mechanicus favors to serve that support role. My Dictator getting its usual beacon and Augur Disruptor, and I have my Lance variant Dauntless, which has also got an Augur Disruptor and beacon for sticking on any troublesome type of fleets that we may encounter. You may already have a semblance of what those may be if you see my championship series, but I have proven that this is a very capable fleet at least. It's going to be a little bit different, mind you, in persistent mode, because my opponents are not going to have the convenience, well, they're going to have their ships possibly fully upgraded as well, so, but at the end of the day, with what I've seen, I think this benefits me more, just because of the favor potential as well, because my one weakness is my lack of point defense, because I only have one actual carrier ship for dealing with bombers and heavy amounts of boarding torpedoes and seeker missiles, quite frankly. So if I use these properly, hell, I could even suicide these Cobras into the seeker missiles and boarding torpedoes in the most extreme situations, and that deters a lot of damage potential and allows me to play more aggressively, potentially. But with that said, I am ready to have fun with a real fleet here, not pulling punches, not handicapping myself, although I do dread, now that I'm actually playing with this fleet, how much do you want to bet my first opponent's going to be a brand new fleet? A 250 point battle? I'm just going to feel sad. I'm going to feel like such a dick when he realizes I have a maxed out fleet. This might be, if that's the case, it's probably going to be pretty hard for me to go through. But at least I can hold back. I can play with different compositions rather than a serious comp. Like, I could go more frigate heavy in that case. And at least I can make adjustments there where I don't have that convenience if I were like my lower level at Imperial Navy fleet fighting a level 10. Alright, so right away we are fighting Calamar. He's having his Imperial Navy fleet, so this will be interesting. Because his Eldar comp, when I played him the championship series, his Eldar fleet was kind of interesting. I don't know what to make of it, because it didn't seem super aggressive as what you would expect with Eldar, mind you. Now it just begs the question, do I bring the Dictator in for this due to the potential torpedoes? Because it's not going to have armor-piercing rounds. I could potentially do well either way. Just dodging torpedoes. I think I have that means to just dodge torpedoes. And I want to get these overlords in. Try and get some more experience in. All I have to say to him, this is the real deal. He'll know what I mean in a moment. But the other fleet was, what is it, level 7. We'll see how this goes, though. I am ultimately pretty happy with how the new fleet went. I did deal with some higher level fleets relatively well, but once I get to Admiral level 7, well really it's Admiral level 8, that's where that advantage is completely gone, and I have to fight opponents that have multiple upgrades, more often than not anyway. So it would have been pretty brutal at that point, so I hope if there's like any expansions or sequels or whatever the hell Tindalos is working on now, that it helps make that a little more smoother for like newer fleets that are trying to build up their experience some. But like I said, I am going to have to get a little reacclimated with how this fleet handles, quite frankly. You think doing a lower level fleet I should be already well versed on how to do this, but you never can tell. This is a much more different feel. I have my shield durability, I have the armor piercing rounds, which I'm going to be taking full advantage of, that I need to remember I have. And I have this Widowmaker with extended sensors, which is of course going to be hanging back relatively well, quite exclusively. So we have possibly one Mars over there, so if I see second fighter squadron, that probably tells me that he has Novacans, which I'm really strong against. Okay, 3 torpedoes, so it's more of a dictator then. So, I should be all good here. We're just going to boost on out, dodge these torpedoes to the best of my ability, at least a little bit. I'm not worried about revealing myself all that much, because again, he can't really do a whole lot out of it, aside from maybe prioritize his system some. I just gotta make sure I'm getting full value out of these torpedoes. Just a little bit, and I am getting some torpedo hits, so I'm all fine with this. Now, make sure everything's aiming. And I took no torpedo hits, so that's all good there. And worst case, I do have some debris I can use. Okay. So let's just turn, get ready to dodge. I am in a bit of a clump though, so let's be careful of this. This could be pretty awkward for me if I'm not careful. And he does have a single Novacan, not a big deal. Let me just move this fleet. It is a little bit too tightly clumped for my own good. Alright, so keep these torpedoes going. Try to. Although with a Dominator or Dictator rather, it could be a little bit trickier to hit some. Now, Widowmaker, you spot for me. Just keep on dodging. I again need to try and spread out some for good measure. Probably not going to happen here. So, point defense can still shoot some of these down. I am going to spread out some of the hits here. But I am getting hits in. Now, Widowmaker needs to spot. Without a doubt, Widowmaker needs to spot. Alright, so Novacan doesn't mean much here just yet. Or the Novacan, yes, so I can dodge that relatively well. I do need to spot though. Now I also need to prioritize. What's the biggest threat here? Whatever I can isolate the most. So, get moving. Watch for the macro cans. This is gonna hurt like hell. But he took just as much hits as I did, so maybe the retribution is the priority. Just a little bit. Let's get this going. And he was a level 10 fleet too, so that's a bit of a pain as well, isn't it? Can I get a Cobra in there? Nope. But I can spawn another one here, maybe? Nope, not really. So, board. Get ready to board again. Prioritize the weaponry some. Now, he is in the middle of this mess, so he is kind of getting maximum value here, so I gotta be careful with this. I did lose my engines. I'm kind of okay here. Again, I need to prioritize my weaponry. He's got the better arc because he's in the middle. So, shield transfer. I could salt run. That's not a terrible idea. Did I jam everything? Okay, sort of did. Now, I gotta make sure the salt run's actually working, though. This will help negate this a lot here. Now, Widowmaker is unfortunately gone. And again, I need to prioritize my damage. The Retribution's the perfect one for that. Now, do I have another auger? I do. I am losing control some here. But can I kill this thing? Kill the Retribution is key. Again, I'm losing control here. This thing is in good shape. I'm not repairing very well, though. And of course, with its engines gone, that hurts a bit, too. So, this is level 10. That's fine. Get the shield transfer up. And if I can, yeah, I'm doing a lot of damage to him again. Him being in the middle did give him more firepower than me, so that's the one fault I did to this. Now, hit him, hit it hard, finish it off. And ideally, yeah, just kill this Retribution. Just finish this off. If I get the torpedo hit, no, I did not, unfortunately. But fire's gonna burn up. This, well, let's just repair, let's warp this out. It doesn't really contribute a whole lot at this point. And again, I am losing a bit of control, aren't I? Oh, and that explosion killed my 2 cruisers too, so that's a bit of a shame. That's a bit of a shame. Now, can I kill off this thing? This lost its prow, so it's only a Gothic too, so it's not as scary as it could be, quite frankly. There. So, torpedoes were kind of pointless there. I do have shield transfers. And I have more torpedoes to bear. Just gotta make sure I'm prioritizing my targets properly, because I did use all my cogitators. I am launching Cobras. I am about to ram, and this sadly does not have its power rams just yet. So, get this thing out, ram it, to at least do some good prow damage here. And again, I gotta prioritize really well. And I have no silent run, so that was kind of pointless. At least for now. Alright, control, manage these torpedoes well. And if I can kill the one up top, that's good. And I got good torpedo shot for it. And this Gothic's pretty close to dying too. I just need to deal with these bombers or wait till the bombers go first. I was spamming buttons trying to get my shield capacitor recharge going. Alright, keep on going. Sadly, not working as I hope. There, good hit there. He kind of did more to himself than he did to me. Now, get this over with. Get this over with, damn it. He is a level 10 fleet. Mine is technically the same. I did mismanage it some, though. Again, him being in the middle, everything means all his weaponry is firing, where only one side of my weapons was firing. So I made a huge mistake with that engagement. But, despite all that, which should have been a critical failure on my part, it still worked out well. It was the self-destruction that destroyed 2 of my cruisers there. And I don't even know how low my other tyrant was, mind you. I figured it had a little bit more health to it, or maybe it exploded when my broadside was facing it. I'm not sure. I just know, unfortunately, the one I wanted to warp out got destroyed. And that would have saved me some, at least a little bit of a repair bill. I don't have navigators on any of them, aside for my level 9 ships, mind you, so I still could have suffered a loss in warp effect. But I'm still mindful of trying to preserve my fleet, especially when it can't contribute its main weaponry there, which is the torpedoes, I think. But that was pretty good. I don't know how much this bar actually moves, quite frankly, but it is really close to its level 10. I kind of want to get it because the power rams could be useful for the aggressive play, because I am going to be naturally turning my prow to them to minimize torpedo damage as much as possible. And I am going to have to get used to these Cobras actually figuring out where the minimum range is that I can deploy them, because I wanted to try and drop them where they can take torpedo hits for me, and it was too close together, too clumped up, unfortunately, and I wasn't able to get it for one or two occasions, so it's a little unfortunate there, but that's part of what I mean by getting acclimated with this fleet again. But at least my level 9's got their experience in, and I'm hoping one or two matches this one will get leveled. And if I get a chance, just feels one of these dauntlesses here to get its extra level in. So, yeah, we're getting started at least. Alright, this time around, we got ourselves Space Marines. And this might be a little more problematic for me there, mainly because of their 75 armor all around. So I'm kind of required to get in close or rely heavily on my torpedoes if I want to go for a straight up fight and win the day. With that said though, I want a Dictator. I want my Dictator for this, and I want to get these level 10 still. So, is this the right choice? Well, 600 points is not a terrible idea at least. It's certainly not terrible. I do want a Firestorm though to help with at least chip down his armor some, at least intimidate him a bit more. If a frigate can even possibly intimidate a battle barge when he's going to rush me, more than likely. And I have to remember the dang boarding torpedoes. It's a little more obvious because the boarding torpedoes are guided Space Marines. I completely forgot about them when I was fighting against Solare, though, mind you. Even though they have like a different coloration, all that there. At least with the cruisers and light cruisers, apparently the battleship always has that same, like, a little more brighter yellow type of color to it, I think. Regardless of whether they're damaged torpedoes or the boarding torpedoes. So it's going to be a little bit trickier, at least with orcs figuring out which is which there. And I'm really tempted just to park myself in these asteroid belts. But of course, if I turn to use my broadside weapon, it does leave me vulnerable to taking some asteroid damage. So I'd rather try and deter him with it, as little as that's actually going to deter him if he has an actual brace. What is it, a chapter master with a brace for impact, mind you. So probably not going to be very helpful, but I know he's more than likely going to be launching boring torpedoes almost immediately. I feel like that is a safe assumption to make. So Dictator, I want you in the best spot possible for whatever arc he's going to be utilizing his boring torpedoes, which more than likely is probably going to be in the middle. Uh-oh. Oh, now I recognize the name. That's based on the Primarch, isn't it? I'm not quite versed on all the Primarchs there, but I think per burrow is pretty close to the Primarch's name of the Iron Warriors. And Iron Hands, now I'm trying to remember if he turned traitor or not, because I wanted to make a comment if he's on based on that, but I honestly can't remember, so it's probably not worth it to make myself look like a fool. Because was Iron Hands loyal, or did they turn chaos? I know Dark Angels are a bit half and half there. Blood Angels, of course, lost their Primarch in the final battle, and all that are good nuances there. But I don't remember the ones that are at least don't have chat codexes dedicated to them. Rather. So we know where he is. Oh yeah, and I gotta remember to turn off this damn auto engage. That's a bit annoying. So is this a good idea to fight at him? Because being detected doesn't matter. I'm already detected. So this does nothing here. So let's see. Boring torpedoes there. 6 torpedoes coming from the side. So I gotta be mindful of that. And I do have additional point defense to help some. Now, let's see what this thing is. Because we got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 torpedoes in on that. Hard to really say. I just gotta be ready. And actually, let's move the Dictator forward a tiny bit. So Mark II, so that's the Thunderhawks, isn't it? Well, he's launching torpedoes, so it's clearly not Thunderhawks, right? I'm thinking the Mark I that's Thunderhawks. So, okay, he's turning check-in, so unfortunately, this may not be a very exciting match, I'm afraid to say. We'll see how it works out, because yeah, these torpedoes are already getting shot down. Nothing exciting here, folks. nothing exciting to slice, and yeah, he does have a two Mark 1s, so those are the Thunderhawks, and then one's a Mark 2. So he's very boarding-centric, so he can give me a hard time, and apparently 600 points, that could possibly still be another strike cruiser. I don't think the points line up, considering, of course, that he has three ships with basically Thunderhawks, and they are very expensive for Thunderhawks, easily over 150. So unless this is a Mark 3, I don't think he can afford it. So launching these torpedoes are kind of pointless. I do get some hits on me. Now, can I board them? Close, but not enough. And I'll save my repairs for when it actually matters. But we did get some torpedo hits, though, still. And that one, unfortunately, didn't do much. Unfortunately. But we are getting lance hits, though, and he saw it run. So, let's launch bombers to help deter these Thunderhawks a little bit. Because that sounds like a good strategy. With my fighters are going to get... Yeah, my fighters are going to go in the wrong spot. So, I'll get ready to repair in a moment here, I think. There. They'll negate that pretty well. I do have a beacon. And that will deter him over there, at least. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the Widowmaker, not that I need it so much. I could easily warp out in 30 seconds. Very uneventful. I won't lie, but... Now, let's give him a hard time, shall we? He has to evade if he wants to hit this. Oh, and of course he destroyed my generator, lucky bugger. I guess we're doing a real fight then. So, fire torpedoes. Let's get in super aggressive. Kill off his dang level 10s at the same time. And I also gotta keep in mind that this thing has no shields until it gets repaired. So, destroying weaponry is a must. So, can we kill this one off there? With a good torpedo hit, I definitely can. Just not going to now. I would like to ram this thing and just keep it out of boundary for a little bit longer. Because we know this is not going to go very far. Now, unload on this thing. Unload, get ready for more damage, because again, shields are down until I get temporary repairs up. So, actually, I don't need to do anything. He's going to fly right into my torpedoes if I aim this right. Nah, it's way too close, unfortunately. If only I hadn't boost forward like I did. Now, can I bomb him? I would like to bomb that and then torpedo this. So, we got means of a torpedo here. Is it going to do the damage it needs to? Probably not. No, it missed. Yeah, it's just because I don't have my shields means I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. So, let's try our luck. It's not going to go very well. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is going to be over just because of the bad timing on my repairs. This is unfortunate. Because now he's just committing to ramming it almost entirely. That dang generator. If I hadn't lost that generator as we watch flying as strike cruisers, this actually would have been pretty good for me, whether I got the warp out or not. Because I got some good torpedo hits on the one lance there. It probably was, yeah, it was because the fighters got distracted by the Thunderhawks on the right, I think. So I didn't get the point defense or the fighter defense I wanted. So I need to be mindful of that there. And again, it was bad time in the repairs. I was holding off on it on purpose too. And then he immediately killed the generators right afterwards, it seemed like. So that's unfortunate. And it also had the increased navigators, so even with the generators down, it still would have been able to warp out at a relatively good pace too. Oh well. The Overlord got its experience in, so that's not too bad. Unfortunately, Dictator didn't do what I was expecting of it, so that comes down to a little bit more better positioning there. Watching where those boarding torpedoes go, and maybe more than likely I should have had the Overlord actually take the hits if I had felt that it was, or at least the second Overlord I'm referring to, if I felt that I could shoot down enough of those things in time. And also, I could have also summoned some Cobras to just take the hits too, like I was planning beforehand. That didn't work out. There was a window for it. So, live and learn. Live and learn. At least with level 9 ships, I'm still getting experience out of it, so it isn't too terrible for me. Alright, I guess this will be a rematch here, because I did do a cruiser clash with him, and then my internet dropped on me. So, what is my plan here? Mostly trying to mitigate a lot of the torpedoes they may shoot at me. Well, I'm not actually detected, but at least in comparison to the assassination, but I feel like the Dictator still can provide a lot here for me. Especially with the jamming potential to keep them hitting, or keep my fleet hitting. Is it the route I want to go though? Because it doesn't really have much in armor-piercing rounds, but the bombers will be a nice contributor here. So, let's get this going, I guess, because I did disconnect on partway through. He went with the double battle barge strategy, so I think I want to take full advantage of that and just punish him with heavy amounts of torpedoes as much as possible anyway. And I would like to still have a firestorm handy to kind of like harass and maybe just hunt down his one frigate if nothing else. We'll see how this goes. If anything, I trust the torpedoes are going to do good. I don't know what the question is there. I don't know what he's talking about there. It's about where you Nova or something. I'm not sure. Because he could clearly tell when I had Nova cans. He could see the torpedoes flying right at him, so I'm a little confused by what he means there. And nonetheless, we have 2 gas clouds, which is a bit awkward placement. Because he can use them to hide relatively well if I'm going to be trying to harass him with torpedoes, but at the same time, it's not a big deal with the torpedoes, quite frankly, because I can kind of fire them blind regardless. So I think I'm okay there. I just got to keep my Widowmaker back to provide some vision. At least provide vision that it doesn't put it at risk anyway. So, Firestorm, I got to turn off the auto gauge. I keep forgetting to do that, which is annoying, but let's see how this goes. And it looks like he's doing the same thing as before. So, let's try and fire some torpedoes out on him. Also, keep in mind my placement. There. So torpedoes are away. We'll see how this looks later on. Let's see. And he revealed the Nova. So Nova's in the asteroid belt right now. So, so he actually got navigational shields on that thing. That's kind of amusing. I don't know how practical it honestly is, because you're relying on kind of a random effect, in all honesty, or random placement of the map, which probably doesn't bode very well. So, let's keep these torpedoes coming. Show no mercy, because these torpedoes did a good amount of damage beforehand, and I don't need to get aggressive, apparently, either, so long as these torpedoes can soften them up nicely. And also keep in mind my Widowmaker, which can spot him relatively well, and then it can launch bombs to really immediately force him back. So that got his attention. We'll see how this works out. Also, keep in mind where that frigate's going. I'm going to use the Widowmaker for spotting it.
Understood.
So, he's converging them together. That works well for me. He has to micromanage both of them now for his play to work. So I get double potential to hit 2 ships, which I'm fine with, quite frankly.
Yes, Admiral.
Now, let's rotate these ships to get their broadside ready, because there's not much you can do about dodging this.
Your orders.
Not yet. And these bombers force them to run away and run, so
Burn retro.
life is pretty easy here as far as deterring these things. So spot me all you want there. We'll see what happens.
Orders received.
And also, let's get our torpedoes all set up, because bombers are about to hit. They're probably not going to do amazing damage, mind you, but they'll be a good start.
Reloading.
So he did solid run, and a couple more saps will wound that. So
Awaiting
good start on the frigate. I gotta be mindful. I am revealed, but I do still have dictators to help some. Now prioritize these weapons.
Yes, Admiral.
He has he has the librarian, I believe, and I can't remember if he has a chapter master or not, but he does have a master of the forge. And for the sake of not bugging out the game with these reinforcements, I am going to not deploy my Cobras, because it actually did happen in one of my attempts to, not in this match with Perburo, but it was with a different opponent, so and unfortunately it's not going to work very practically for me here. Now, just make sure my fighters get as much leeway as possible for doing damage, because yeah, as uneventful as this may seem, I don't really need to do a whole lot, do I? I get free damage this way with my torpedoes. Almost guaranteed, so long as I'm smart about how I use it. Oh, he does have a chapter master, so that explains part of the problem I was having. So, it works though. It definitely works, and softening them up if for a game of attrition is a big deal. So, Dauntless easily dodges. I guess they were just dumbfire torpedoes. I thought for some reason they were boarding torpedoes.
At your command.
So, let's get the overlords moving. Firestorm's in place. Let's keep on hitting. Oh, someone's getting impatient, I think, or he's getting desperate.
Resuming normal function.
Alright, so we still have Widowmaker. How far?
Your command.
He's about to get in sensor range, so... And I'm about to hide myself in a moment too, so...
Enemy ship sighted.
Let's try and focus on this here.
Resuming
Although I need
normal
torpedo hits too. Since he is going Lance and...
orders received.
Let's see. Oh, I'm just gonna ram myself. That was bad.
Going
A little unfortunate, but... Let's try this proper.
course.
Now,
Activating
I like to bomb the Nova. He is probably gonna assault run with it again.
your command. All ahead full.
Because he is trying to go after this thing.
Orders.
But I can hide easily enough.
Ship ready.
Just focus on this thing.
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
Go for this. And fire some torpedoes. And if possible, just not run with this too.
Setting course.
Because he's not going to get to do a whole lot. Do I have torpedoes? I do have lock on. He has supercharged void shield up.
Fire.
So, I do have silent run and all that available. Is it worth it though? Not yet.
Orders received.
I just got to make sure when the supercharged void shield goes out that I make it count.
Your command. Burn retros.
So, board the Dauntless.
Cogitators.
Board the Dauntless for all I care. Let's see.
Your orders.
And let's try and get these reloads going. I would like to get torpedo hits, but I don't think it's possible.
Changing course.
He did board the Overlord, so that's unfortunate.
Speed set. Understood.
So, get on moving. This is a bit of a mess, but
Execute high energy turn.
I can hopefully get some torpedoes in. I could salt run and all that, but I don't think it matters with the deck gone.
Orders received.
Losing his shields is a big deal this time. Just straight up losing, not temporary.
Course.
Come on, stop losing control on me there. I need to keep close to this thing, because torpedoes are the way I'm going to kill this.
At your command.
Oh, and come on, get turning around. Or did I use all my boosters? That's a shame. I used all my boosters, but killing this thing now is a big deal with its lock-on potential.
Resuming normal function.
So let's make it count.
Burn retros. The navigator will guide us out.
Because killing this helps a ton with its fire potential.
Engine.
Now, can I finish it off? Well, he is firing torpedoes at me at the moment, so...
Your orders.
A ram is required. If you can ram for me, that would be great, but I don't think that's going to happen.
At your command.
I did lose one of the Overlords, though, but that was his most prevalent battle barge as well.
Orders received. Ship ready.
And there's no point for me using my prowess there.
Normal functions.
Not aside for mitigating his ram damage.
Activating tactical cogitators.
Now, destroy its weaponry, destroy its options anyway.
At your command.
And I did a bad job remembering this thing too.
For impact. Resuming normal functions.
I did a bad job remembering this poor thing once its boosters died. So that's a shame.
Yes, Admiral.
I am really sloppy for some reason. But I still have torpedoes to fire. I'm not going to get the experience I would like. And did my torpedoes just not work, or did they hit the debris conveniently?
Cruising speed set.
I guess I'm never going to know.
Coordinates acknowledged.
Not until after the recording anyway. Oh, fire as well. I accidentally held your fire, which was a bit of a mistake.
Changing course.
So,
Burn retros.
keep firing. Well, I don't have bombers or anything, so... There goes the prow, so that settles that deal some, what I prioritize here.
Your orders. Understood.
And we get some bombing damage, it could still do well, though. Let's just make sure.
Setting course.
Oh, micro warp jump, fine. Can I assault run with this thing? Good.
Resuming normal functions.
I'm okay with this.
At your
Although he did temporarily damage the shields, but that's going to be fixed in a moment.
Your orders. Orders received.
That's not going to work very well, sadly.
Speed set.
I do get some torpedo hits, but I still have a prow. I still have lances, I still have torpedoes.
Engines hot.
And I got more auger disruptors, as well as armor piercing hitting them at the moment. I'm hoping they're armor piercing.
Awaiting orders.
So, just unload and hopefully don't bug out on me.
Yes,
That would be the dream. As I'm forgetting my frigates and all that, so that's a bit of a shame.
yes, Admiral.
He does have a lot of shield durability though, but
Awaiting
that was a bit unnecessary of the shield transfer, but I'm still hitting him.
coordinates acknowledged. This was your lateral command.
And again, another insubordination, a bit weird. But the shields are up, I just gotta deny these boarding attempts and get him good torpedo run in.
Your orders. Setting course.
Now, can I hit him with torpedoes? And then I'll just warp out and... Well, I don't need to warp out, quite frankly. I don't need to anyway, because it already got its level 10 in. Yeah, this is good.
All ahead full.
Now I just gotta seal the deal.
Cruising speed set.
Can I seal the deal?
Received.
Not very well, because this dictator doesn't really have a lot in prow weaponry. Or broadside weaponry, and it just launched this torpedo, so I'm kind of waiting until the shields actually die to finish it off. There, that's game.
Burn retros. Taking heavy damage.
Alright, so I will admit I was on the losing end of the last match, but that was, like I said before, I got a little more aggressive there against this double battle barge. So, I didn't get as many torpedo shots as I would have liked, but the beginning portion played out almost the same. In fact, I think I hit him with more torpedoes in the last match where I disconnected, as opposed to this game, so considering he took less damage from that and I managed to turn around, says playing it more slow and force him to come to me is the right choice. And of course, it is a serious question if this dictator is as valuable as I'm making it out to be. Because there's a lot of time that's doing absolutely nothing there. With no armor-piercing rounds on it. With only one macro battery, mind you. I feel like I could have fitted in a tyrant instead. Or even the 2 tyrants. I could have gone 2 overlords, 2 tyrants. That'd be even more torpedo potential. More raw firepower for in-close. And it works so well burning down his shields so much more rapidly too. Whereas this dictator has very little in actually damaging the shields for my overlords. So I feel like, if nothing else, it was an improvement to the last match. The match that I disconnected, that unfortunately won't be in the recording, but I was again on the losing end of that. And I don't think this Overlord's ever going to get its level in, is it? It should only need like 1, maybe 2 more. Oh, both my Overlords are at the same pace though. So if I can somehow warp out with these 2 things, then I don't have to worry about them dying unnecessarily then. And then I just give them the power rams, which might help with a bit of the problem I may have been having there, just damaging down his battle barge. I just gotta be mindful of which one is braced for impacting and which one's locking on so I can punish it. Although with one of them using bombardment cannons, then makes it a little bit, I pretty much should be prioritizing one with bombardment cannons, quite frankly. And it does make me wonder if I do want belt armor, because the shield capacitors are probably not all that handy, because I have so much shield transfer available too, so I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Anything that has the recharge on the shields I might for a little more reliable and consistent sake, put belt armor on to help with that regard. Because with Solari using his orcs negating my shields, the shield tanking is probably not as prevalent for the matches that are going to really matter anyway. And it helps with the dang Space Marine boarding there, because that generator, losing that generator could have done a lot. Well, if I had it up still, it would have helped me so much with keeping the Overlord alive. Losing its generators left it so vulnerable to the bombardment cannon salvo, especially when I have to get so close as well, mind you, to take advantage of my armor-piercing rounds, so it's not like I could dodge or mitigate the chances he can of hitting me, so belt armor and everything, it'll make the next upcoming videos, the future videos, so much more better for me, I think, at least in terms of performance. At least it's nice and consistent, reliable. Oh, and this already has... Oh, you're level 10, so I guess that's what I'm using my level 10 on, then extend the range. Maybe? Oh, they all already have extended range. It's just the level 10 will be the shield capacitors, I guess. Alright. I'm starting to remember what the hell my fleet is now.